What's going on, people? Digi here, back with another video. Today going to be doing our weekly altcoin market review. Before we get started, disclaimer and all of that, not intended as financial advice. Do your own research, all of that. And yeah, as mentioned, going to be having a quick look at some altcoins today chosen by you guys. Put out a tweet out there, no one's really kind of mentioned any coins, so I'll pick some for myself as well. So let's go ahead and kick off. So first coin I'm going to have a quick look at is Constellation DAG. It's a coin picked by someone on Twitter. So let's have a quick look, see what's going down here. Now I'll zoom out on this chart so you can get a better perspective of what's going on. So this is a really good example of a nice altcoin chart. You get your beginning price discovery, peak and trough, and you get a long drawn out period once the volume's died off and there's no hype in the coin. You then get this long lull of a consolidation period. Usually this is where a coin either makes it or breaks it in terms of its price action. It might just meander for a long time. Broke out of this range here in June of last year. We dipped back in and it's kind of been ranging ever since in bigger and bigger ranges. So we zoom in. Once we had our breakout, kind of the peak for the price here was around about just under 2.5 cents. And if you refer back to its previous price discovery, you can see there's some sort of resistance or support here turned into resistance. And as we go across, we can see we've had bigger peaks and troughs as it dips down. So price found its high or its resistance level, then retraced back into previous areas of breakout. So again, you can kind of see the wicks going down, reaching down, particularly on this breakdown here, broke previous price levels, reached into previous breakout levels here, and then just kind of took off. Same thing happened again. So I often talk about this. If you can just concentrate on a particular set of coins or coins that you like or you know well, and you just learn the price movements of those in particular, it's very easy to just trade those and not have any outside noise from the market about coins people are talking about and their hype and what have you not. You can just fixate on what you like, what you know, and work from there and easily make a good trading strategy around it. So we talked about these price movements. So the low here was around about 0.5 cent, and each time it breaks up, keeps reaching up between this 1.5 and 2.5 cent level. So reasonably, I mean, again, there's a 2x on the table here for anyone, even a 3x potentially, and its most recent move was probably around about, just 2x or whatever. But in terms of where price is going to go now, first areas I look for is breaking these previous highs. You can see there is some wicky action here on top, so you want to be looking at volume coinciding with that as well. So we want to see pick up in volume, which you can see here, but we've not really had any significant breakout, as you can see on its previous run. So what you want to be looking for here is price volume breaking up like this. Price will then proceed. So yeah, just somewhere to keep an eye out for this. Next areas would be just these highs. So you're looking at a break of 2.5 cents as something to really consider as where it's going to go next. So moving on, that's Constellation. Thank you very much to the guy who chose this. Moving on, another coin that I like, ZELCASH. I'm going to pick this. I'm a big fan of the project. If you guys haven't already done so, you can check out a review on my website, proofreview.com. But yeah, want to pick up ZEL. Now I actually just refer to BTC price when it comes to this because I'm such a long holder, but I'm going to look at it in the dollar value. So just zooming out here, again, it's an old coin from 2018. You can see it's got its cycle here, pretty much revolves around this previous area before the breakout, and see how price then retraced to that. Broke below, but kind of meandered in that range for a good few months earlier on in the spring of this year. Now, one thing I like, price is now broken out of that range with some force. We're now seeing another consolidation here, and hopefully price will break out of this 5 cents level again and look to start challenging these previous highs. One area I would look for instantly would be this, up to 8 cent level. Looks like there was a lot of support here previously, so it may be another area of resistance. But as you can see on its previous move, it touched 25 or just under 25 cents. So if price is ever going to go to its previous all-time high, you still got 5x from this point potentially, and you can always just scale off on the way up if you were to invest in this coin or trade it actively. So yeah, next areas of interest I'll be looking at would be a break of 6 cents and then moving all the way up to this 8 cents level and a continuation from there. On the downside, if you do want to reload, we can see that it's been dipping down to previous areas of resistance here. So again, good barometer for you. It's a nice level for support. So this 3.5 cents range, if you want to start getting into this coin, you can start averaging in on the way down. So that's Zel project I'm a big fan of. Big shout out to the Zel team. Moving on, I wanted to have a quick look at Ethereum. I know it's not potentially a regular altcoin, but I just think the movement in it is so nice recently that can you see this doesn't look different from any other chart that you'll see for most coins. It has the same sort of structure, and it all comes down to it doesn't matter what the asset is that you're trading. What every coin or every asset has in common is that it's traded by people, and those people have emotions. So I know it's a bit of a cliche, but the emotional cycle chart that you see, you can see it across every chart you look at if you study closely enough and it's had enough price action. Anyway, enough of that. So moving back onto Ethereum. So we're now kind of breaching this $300 range. There's been a lot of excitement about this recently. Someone who's been in E for a long time, I can remember when this run up happened, and we're hoping it can kind of reach previous highs again with all this DeFi hype. So zooming in, let me just get it properly. We don't want to maximize one reset. There we go. We can see price from its low earlier on this year when everything crashed, 103 to where it is now is a 3x. But it's had a nice steady progression along that way. So, I hate seeing people who say, oh, if I would have bought at this price, I could have sold at this and I would have made this. Well, who cares? Because the signals in the chart here for you is very nicely painted that can help you get in with an element of confluence behind you, and you can take your time. So the first element I'm going to give, nobody needs to be a bottom buyer here. If you are, you're taking a risk because you never know where the bottom is. But it only takes a couple of weeks or months for a bottom to be formed, especially in a very violent price movement. So, the more violent it is, the less time it probably takes to correct on top of that. So as you can see, price meandered round. We broke out of that previous level. We then started breaking back up into the regions where it broke down, hit this 200 level, had another chance to reload if you'd missed that. So you could reload in these order blocks here. Price then meandered around again, broke out again above this previous high, which is a real good indication for you. And then you want to be looking at this as a level of, was there any sort of resistance here? Well, you could say technically there was a little bit, but we didn't really reach into it. Price then reaccumulated for another several weeks, let's say a month and a half, and then really broke out violently. As you can see, reached this $300 level within a matter of days. So my future thoughts on ETH, let's put this on a weekly because I don't like how it zooms in on a daily if you've got it open too wide. The next areas I'm going to be looking for is a breach of 350 or 360, as we can see. Again, I wouldn't count on that happening today, tomorrow. We've already had a 20-30% price movement in this. Give it a few days, see if we have another consolidation period. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at next. And then after that, I want to be looking at this $400 to $500 level. Would love to see a candle like this or something bigger just to blow through it. And yeah, we'll see where this ends up. If you're looking on the downside to reload, if you've missed the breakout, again, don't get frustrated on these things. You always get another chance. This was a previous resistance level. You could potentially say that turns back into support. So you can see a support here, resistance. Now, hopefully, maybe it turned back into support. So this anything up to 280, 260 level, you can put some alarms there and see if price dips that back down. You can get involved. So that's Ethereum. Moving on, this seems to be the darling of the market, Aleph. Pull it up, we'll see we've got the right ticker. So ALEPH.IM. And before I actually take a look at it, let's see what it does. So ALEPH.IM is a decentralized cloud storage database and computing platform. Ooh, got a lot of buzzwords in there. Aims to be the infrastructure layer for all DeFi projects that are adding off-chain features and need decentralization for it. So basically, If a project wants to add any sort of DeFi element to it, it seems like Aleph is the place to go. I had a few people mentioning this as a hype, so let's get off the weekly, get onto a daily. Might even need to go lower than that. Let's go to a 12-hour. There we go. So as you can see, every coin out there has its price discovery. This wasn't the low to buy. This is just what's printed on Coin Paprika's charts. So low of around 15 cents, already pumped up on a wiki basis to 38, nearly a 40 cents level. Looking at the bodies of the candles is a bit more reliable for coins, especially early on, to see what's going on. So we're looking at this 35 cents level as a potential area of resistance. And on the downside, again, this potentially may be very wiki early on. You may have your price discovery, rediscover this area here because there wasn't much trading going on. And see how it goes. I mean, I don't know much about this project, so I'm not going to say much more apart from what I can see on the chart. You're looking to reload anything below 25 cents all the way down to 15 would be a good area to start and just kind of put your alarms there. If you're looking to sell, maybe look out for another breakout above this previous high. Just set an alert there and see how it goes. Now, one thing I am a big fan of and I can recommend is new coins in this cycle. Don't be surprised how violently they can go in either direction. So on the positive note, these things can fly up. So I know we've all been in a mindset of 10%, 20%, 2x returns over the last year, year and a half, maybe even 2 years. Well, now is the time to eat and eat well. So if these things fly, sell. I mentioned this in a tweet the other day, and it's funny like how maybe people took their opinion of it. Well, basically, I said none of these coins are ever going to change the future in terms of what you think. They're not groundbreaking outside of the crypto community. The crypto community isn't that big. I mean, there's more people that go and watch football games every weekend in the UK than there is who hold this shit. So put that into context. But what I was trying to say is, don't hold on to these for dreams and, one coin is going to change your life. It might do, but it only happens when you plan and target for these things. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So if you're getting involved in these things, have a brief outline of what you want from it, how you can achieve it, and how do you get there. Part of that involves putting sell targets. Part of that then it involves executing those targets when they get there. And another part of it is also making sure that you eat well. So don't sell 90% of your coin on your first target and then leave 10% for a moon bag when your first target was a 10% return. Be logical about these things and take your time. So that's Aleph. Very interesting to see where this ends up. And then finally, the one I wanted to have a look at was Wi-Fi. I'm not sure if it's even, it's on CoinMarketCap. Boo, don't like this site anymore. But again, very good example of, a violent price movement. Now, this again is not the bottom price that was listed for this project. I believe it's gone 100x in a week. So we're talking more around the $30, $40 level as it's low. And as you can see, it's wicked up into this $4,500 level. And this is every altcoin chart you'll see out there for the first couple of weeks of its existence. It's had its price discovery to the upside. It's now going to reach back down and see where a fair level or fair value for the market is and what people want to buy this at, and then kind of find further movement from there. So if you're going to hold my head to anything, I'm going to say look for a reach back down into this level. I know it's a big dip where these things happen in crypto, especially on Wix. And also on the upside, you're potentially looking for a breach of this 4,500. I don't know anything about the project, so I don't even know what this coin does, how many coins there are, whatever. I've been out of the loop for the last week or two, let's say. And be interesting to see how this one pans out in the future. Now, for anyone out there who was involved in this and got on the hype train and made money off it, enjoy it, in terms of you did the right thing. You're not going to hold this for, changing your life and all of that. I mean, 100x within a couple of weeks is life-changing enough. What's that? $100 into 100,000? 1,000 into 1,000,000? That right? 100x? No, yeah. So you can tell it's a Sunday night. So $100 into 10,000, $1,000 into 100,000. 10k into basically one Bitcoin into 1,000,000. So some guy potentially may have walked away a millionaire off this coin from one Bitcoin. And that's what I was trying to explain to you guys about your life can be made in this next altcoin season. It's just plan for it, know what you want, hit your targets, take them, and pay yourself. You don't want to sit through this shit again, like we have. So yeah, that's kind of Wi-Fi. Just wrapping this up. I don't even know how you're saying it. Wi-Fi, Yearn Finance, whatever. Wi-Fi, is what it is. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, just on a closing note here, guys. I don't want to go on a big ramble, but there's huge opportunity in this space in the next year and a half. All you need to do is just get, tuned in, dialed into the market, refine the skills that you've learned over the last year, 2 years, however long you've been here, and just put them to use. Look at a house that you want. You might not be able to afford it now, but put that down and say, right, I want crypto to pay for this shit. If you've not got a girlfriend, start looking at the girls you want to start fucking, and then start thinking, when I've got money, I'm going to start feeling better about myself, and worst case scenario, I can pay for these girls. Do you know what I mean? Start looking at things you want to buy your mum and dad, your brothers, your siblings, your friends, your loved ones. Start looking about what career you want in the future. Do you work in a dead-end job that you don't like and you want to run an ice cream van, or you want to open up a trainer shop, or whatever you want to do, whatever your life passion is, you want to go traveling the world. These are all opportunities available to everyone in the next year and a half. Don't feel you're ever too late to crypto. Don't feel you've ever got, too little a stack to make a difference. This is the only industry where you can turn $100 into 10,000 in a week and do the same again for that 10,000 within a month. And before you know it, you've now got life-changing money that is now going to, really take you somewhere in life. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up on that, otherwise I'll just start chatting shit for the rest of the night. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, all of that. And yeah, we'll see you next